I really don't like Christmas, but fuck it. So hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome to a brand new video. Now on a video a while ago, my last vlog, I said I was going to do a Q&A for Christmas, and this is it. This is what you're watching now. So here's my Christmas Q&A. So I'm just literally going to go through the comments and I'm going to answer every single question. So here we go. First of all, what is your favourite cliffhanger ending from Classic Who and why? It's a choice between two for me. It's either the Caves of Androzani Part 3, I mean for obvious fucking reasons, it's mint, or the end of Invasion of Time Part 4, just because, I mean, well, if you've got the DVD, it isn't, but if you've never seen it before, it is a massive surprise what happens, and the Sontarans are just stood there, and the way that the music builds is just awesome, so I'm gonna have to go with those two. Do you think a Lego Doctor Who game could work? I mean, they tried it kind of with that, oh, what was it called now? Lego Dimensions, I think? That was okay, but all the Lego games now are a bit samey, so I don't think I'd want to see it, really. Favourite Doctor's costumes? The 4th Doctor, any variant. Favourite episodes of Doctor Who that you didn't put on your list? I don't know, I mean, there's loads. Terror of the Zygons is a great one. I really like the Android Invasion. There's quite a few Pertwee ones that I like. I don't know, there's quite a few, but I can't really think of all of them off the top of my head right now. Worst episodes of Doctor Who that you didn't put on your list? Interestingly, I've had to explain this in the comments on that video a few times, but in my worst top 10 of the new series, it's actually 9 on that list. Good job I didn't number them, because then people really would have noticed. I actually missed off an episode, In the Forest of the Night. The reason being because I forgot to record it as I was making that video, purely because it was so bad I literally forgot about it. So yeah, that one. What are your favourite Big Finish Doctor Who stories? For me, easily my favourite one is Spare Parts. Have you ever watched the Australian K9 TV series? Absolutely not, and I'm not going to. I have seen clips, however, and it's just diabolical. What are your thoughts on Series 6 and Series 7, as I don't hear you speak much on those series? Well, what I'm going to be doing soon, hopefully, is an overview of Stephen Moffat's era, so the Matt Smith era and Peter Capaldi's era. Depending on how long it goes on for, it might be in 2 separate parts. I'm aiming it to be like the first podcast, which I've mentioned in another video that I want to do, so I will talk about those series, obviously, when we talk about Matt's tenure. Your thoughts on Amy Pond? She's my favourite companion. Amy's cool. I think she's not perfect. She's definitely got some really awkward moments to look back on now. For example, kissing the Doctor in the Weeping Angel story in Series 5, and I still hate how she's written in Asylum of the Daleks. I don't understand why people hate her as much as they do. I think she's pretty cool. How the hell is Series 9 the highest rated series on IMDb? Fucking hell, I've no idea. I don't know. That's a mystery to me and all. Please rank the Christmas specials. Well, that video is probably going to be up tomorrow on Christmas Day. I don't think it'll be ranking the Christmas specials, but I'll be talking about some of the best ones and some of the worst ones. Thoughts on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Parks and Recreation? I haven't seen either of them, so I have no opinion on them. Do you watch Supernatural? No, not really. I know it's a show that, again, like a lot of stuff that people tell me about, I should like and I should watch, but I just haven't got around to it yet. What's your favourite book/book genre? Well, in terms of book genre, my favourite genre is, as it is with everything, which is science fiction. However, my favourite book is a book called Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. It's a really, really cool and interesting book. It's quite dark in places as well, and I believe there's 4 in the series. It's a really good series that I'd highly recommend. Have you ever been that into Game of Thrones? No, it's one of those shows where it's got so much hype and people just go, oh my god, it's the best show ever, that I just think, I'm not going to watch it then, it's probably just going to disappoint me. Again, it's probably something that I would like and that I should try and give it a proper watch, but I'm just not interested at this point. Have you ever played a Zelda game? I'm sure I have at some point, like years ago though. Worst video you have played? I don't know if you mean made or played. In terms of videos that I've watched that are pretty bad, I don't know, there's loads of shit ones. But in terms of one that I've made, there's a few that I'm not necessarily happy with, that I look back and think, fucking hell, you rushed that. And it's true, I did rush them. So I can't really put my finger on which one, but it's weird with YouTube. I don't know why I've just taken my glasses off mid-answer, but fuck it, it's my video and it's Christmas and I can't be fucked. I think the main thing with YouTube is you'll do some videos that you think, oh, this is going to go down really well, and then it doesn't. And then you have the opposite, where you have a video that you think, it's just a load of rubbish, and then it ends up being really good. It's a bit weird how things go. PS4 or Xbox One? I've always been a PlayStation guy. What is that pink drink behind you and why is it there? I'm assuming you mean this one. So basically, this is a Voodoo Donut Grape Gorilla beer by Rogue. I bought this in Leeds. I believe in the vlog that I did of Leeds is where I got that. And the reason I have it is because I wanted to try it because it sounded weird and different, and I misunderstood what the woman said, and I ended up buying the bottle instead, which was a fair bit of money, and I ended up keeping the bottle because I thought, well, I've spent a bit of money on this, I'm going to keep the fucking bottle. And I'll tell you another secret as well. Don't try that. It's crap. It's horrible beer as well. So it's a painful reminder to me not to just spend money on crap that you may not like. That's why I have it. I mean, it's a cool design. It's a big gorilla. Kind of reminds me of Gorilla Grodd from The Flash. Ever seen Kill la Kill? Never even heard of it. So, No. Would you rather £6,000 or 4,000 new subs? Ooh, that's interesting actually. I mean, I do like money, but I also like my subscribers. So if each of you could donate so I get £6,000, no, I'm joking. To be honest, probably more subs, because the more my channel grows, the more people will see it, and then I'll grow a bigger audience, and then I'll be happier. Money runs out. Hopefully subscribers don't. Nardole or Nardole? That is a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Nardole on that one. If you could do your own YouTube rewind, what would you do, and what 12 people would you have in it? To be quite honest with you, I wouldn't do a YouTube rewind. It's the same way that I don't like stuff like any of the award shows. It's sort of like a massive pat on the back. Oh, good for fucking little you. You did something that isn't really that impressive in the grand scheme of things. So I look at YouTube rewind as just something like, let's pat on the back all the fucking creators that have done something. It's not something that I'm interested in. Do I think that people shouldn't be recognised for doing great things? Of course they should, but I think you can do it in a way that isn't as wanky as YouTube rewind is. And that's me officially never being invited to YouTube rewind in the future. Will you see Sherlock Gnomes? Again, I've not heard of it, and by the sounds of it, no. Oh my god, it is actually a thing. No, I'm not gonna watch that. Have you ever heard of the band Elbow? Yeah, of course I have. They're a Manchester band, I believe, and I know that the lead singer goes around Manchester quite a bit. They're not really music that I listen to, though, to be quite honest with you. What is the best series of Friends? Well, I personally prefer it when Monica and Chandler are together, so I quite like anything from like season 4 onwards, or sort of like when they were getting together onwards, basically. Do people often tell you that you look Irish? Well, funny that, because I am actually half Irish. But no, they don't. What is your favourite meat? Dick. No. No, my favourite meat is chicken. I know it's boring, I know it's obvious, but I do quite like chicken. But then again, I like most meats, really. There's not many that I dislike. What do you want for Christmas, and what will you give? To be honest, there isn't much I want for Christmas this year. It's not something that I'm interested in anymore. Like, the magic's gone for me. I've had bad experiences with Christmas, like, in the last few years or so. In terms of what I give, this is going up on Christmas Eve, so I can't really say, because then people will know what they're getting. Can you do an impression from each Doctor? Probably not. I know you're hoping I would do an impression, but that's a video for another day. Or is it? It is. Who would win in a battle between the Sontarans and the Cybermen? That is actually quite a good one. That's more of a better pairing than the Daleks and the Cybermen, because the Sontarans are obviously big warmongers. Well, not big, the little warmongers. And the Cybermen are often all about upgrading and technology and whatnot. It'd be an interesting fight. I mean, I want to be biased and say the Cybermen just because you guys should know how much I love them, but I'm going to have to lean towards the Sontarans just because they are ready for war. What's your favourite Doctor Who line or speech uttered by the Doctor? Easy. There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes. I live by that quote. Moffat or Davis? I think Moffat wrote the better stuff, but I think Davis was more consistent. So just for consistency, I'm gonna have to go for Davis. Best finale to a series? I assume you mean Doctor Who. I think probably series 1. That was probably the best one for me. Would you agree that Russell used magic in the series 3 finale? Yeah, it was all that prayer bullshit that didn't really make sense. That's the only thing that I don't like about that series 3 finale. Like, Utopia is a phenomenal episode, and the way that it builds and the tension and towards the end is phenomenal. Then you go to The Sound of Drums. The Master is just pretty much in control, and I love that. And then the last episode, it's taking back control from the Master with prayer. When I saw that, I just thought that's a load of bullshit. Thoughts on The Lodger? Underrated. Do you watch I'm a Celeb? No, God no. Can you do a series finale ranking? At some stage I probably will. What classic story would you recommend to new Who viewers who have never seen the original series? I've said this in another video. I would go with Sontaran Experiment, purely because it's about the length of a standard episode of new series Doctor Who, so it's only a 2-part story, so in total it's like 45 minutes or something like that. And because it's a Sontaran, it's a sort of villain that you would have seen before to get you adjusted. It's not the best story ever, but in terms of the structure of the episode, it's the easiest and most accessible in my opinion. What are your 5 guilty pleasure Doctor Who episodes and stories? I don't know about 5, but I definitely have a couple. I really like The Unicorn and the Wasp. I think that's a pretty good story. I quite like the Slitheen stories as well, like Boomtown and the first 2-part story, Aliens of London and World War III. They're pretty good. Who are your celebrity crushes? Scarlett Johansson all day. She's just upper echelons. However, Daisy Ridley has got to be one of the cutest people I've seen in recent memory. She is just so cool. Are you a fan of the Bond movies? Nope, not really, never have been. Will you do top 10s such as Doctor Who episodes, movies, etc.? I have done top 10s before, but I also tend to steer more towards top 3s or just random opinion pieces, but it's something that I am looking into doing in the future. Is there anything that would turn you off watching Doctor Who? Now, this is probably going to be a controversial answer, and I know some people might not necessarily agree with it or what I'm going to say, but the main thing that would turn me off is whether or not they do Series 11 properly. If they do it properly and they ignore all the social justice warrior feminist bullshit that they've been trying to get into Doctor Who in the last few years, if they ignore that and just write good stories and write good characters and treat the Doctor like the Doctor and not the female Doctor, then I won't have an issue. If they do the exact opposite of that and they focus on the Doctor being a woman and they focus on social justice warrior commentaries or political agendas or feminism and all that sort of stuff, I don't want to watch that. That's not why I watch Doctor Who. I watch it to see a time traveller go through time and space and fight different monsters and creatures and aliens and villains and meet all these wonderful different people. That's why I watch Doctor Who. I don't watch it to be lectured politically. So if they do that, then that will make me switch off personally. And somehow people will think I'm a sexist for saying so. But if they do, fuck them. Who is/was the best Doctor Who writer? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's Robert Holmes. Now, he wasn't perfect. He wrote some dodgy stories, but the highs that he had are the highest that the series has ever seen. Wow, this got serious pretty quick. Have you ever had depression? If so, what would you say to your fans/friends who are going through it? I don't know if I have. I've definitely had moments where I felt like that, and I've definitely had days where I just don't want to do anything. I'm too busy just wrapped up in myself and what I'm feeling, and there's been days where it has been a struggle for me to even think about just getting up, to be honest. And I have gone through some serious stuff in the past, such as self-harm, an eating disorder as well, which is partly how I lost the weight. The wrong way, basically. Yeah, I think the advice is just not stick with it as such, but just keep going, because you're not the only one. And I think that is actually the main important advice that got through to me was, look, I'm not the only one who's going through this. There's other people out there that know what it's like, and they're on the other side of it. So instead of thinking, oh God, I feel a certain way, just know you're not alone in feeling that way, and you can get through it. It's hard, it's not easy, but you can do it. Merry Christmas, everybody. What's your opinion on your fan base? Example, is it annoying most of our questions are Doctor Who related? You're all a bunch of That was a joke, I don't mean that at all. I wouldn't really call it a fan base, it's just people that watch my videos, I think. In terms of like, is it annoying that people just ask me Doctor Who questions for the most part? It is and it isn't, you know, because it is the main thing on my channel that people seem to enjoy and people seem to watch, so it doesn't really bother me. I mean, there are questions that I'm just like, oh come on, I've done other stuff, ask me about that. But it doesn't really bother me that much. And like I say, I mean, there's people that I see comment on videos quite regularly, and there's people who I talk to every now and again via Twitter or Instagram Messenger and stuff like that. So they're great. I've never come across someone who says that they're a big fan of mine and has been an arsehole. You've all been pretty good so far. But yeah, no, I don't have any issues. I think you're all great, and I just love that you're here. I didn't expect to be in the position that I'm in at this point. I thought I'd be lucky if I got 1,000 before I'd done YouTube for a year, and I've not even done YouTube for a year, and I'm nearly at 3,000. So it's insane. I know it's not millions, of course, and I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, I'm such a big YouTuber, because I'm not. But I just love the fact that there are people out there who have stuck with me for quite some time. If you could go anywhere on Earth in any time, past, future or present, where would you go? I would love to go back to the 70s. I love the 70s. I think it's such a brilliant time that I'd love to experience. But I guess I'd also love to go into the future as well to see how far technology goes. I think that would be fascinating. I'm very fascinated with technology, particularly when it comes to computers and artificial intelligence, that sort of thing. I'd love to see where that goes. Who are your favourite Doctors? Brackets 3, so I assume top 3 Doctors. Tom Baker, Peter Capaldi, John Pertwee. Which is your favourite Oasis album, and what do you think are some of your favourite songs from the band? My favourite song of all time is an Oasis song. Falling Down. It's not the most well-known Oasis song, it's in fact the last single that they ever released, but my favourite album is Dig Out Your Soul, which is the album that is off. What do you think of Kinder? I love Kinder. It's one of the 5th Doctor's best stories. It's brilliant. What series did you start hating Clara, or was it straight from series 7B? For me, it was about 20 minutes into Deep Breath, because it officially became the Clara Show. Yeah, pretty much series 8 for me as well. I disliked her throughout series 8. I didn't mind her at all in the second part of series 7. I thought she was fine. The more and more we explore her character in series 8, the more and more obnoxious she is. And then I think the moment where it went from dislike to hate was that moment in Dark Water where she's threatening the Doctor with the TARDIS key and throwing it away into the lava. I didn't see any redemption for a character after that. Have you ever seen any films from the Alien franchise, and if so, what were they and did you like them? Yes, I've seen the first 2 and I love them both, and based on the reviews that I've heard of the other Alien movies, I refuse to watch anymore. What are your thoughts on Murray Gold stepping down from being the music composer for Doctor Who? That's one of the main things from series 11 to come out where I've instantly gone, yep, brilliant. Now the reason for this is Murray Gold is a fantastic composer, don't get me wrong, he has done some incredible pieces of music. The only issue is it's kind of a similar situation to Dudley Simpson, rest in peace, way back in the 70s, because you end up now with a composer who is clearly a bit burnt out, and they start to sound samey and they start reusing pieces of old music in newer music, and it just makes the soundtracks really vanilla and they sort of blend in with one another now. What are your thoughts on these TV shows? Farscape, never seen it. The Amazing World of Gumball, never heard of it. Mythbusters, watched a couple of episodes, it's okay, it's not for me though. BoJack Horseman, a program that I probably should watch and I need to start watching. Breaking Bad, tried to watch it, it was similar to what I was saying about Game of Thrones before. It's got to a point where people so hyped it up that I'm just thinking if I watch it, I'll just be disappointed. SpongeBob, one of my favourite cartoons as a kid, I fucking love it. What are your thoughts on these Pokemon? Empoleon, I'm not a massive fan of it, to be honest. Minior, I don't know if I've pronounced that right. It's not memorable to me. It's just a bit like a crappy Soul Rock, in my opinion, in terms of its appearance. Gardevoir, my god, there is some weird shit out there about Gardevoir. I'm not one of those people that loves Gardevoir more than they should, but in terms of in-game, it's a very good Pokemon. Garchomp, a decent Pokemon. It's not, see, I don't have an affiliation with these Pokemon as much as I do with some of the others, but Garchomp is cool, but it's not one of my favourite pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Volcarona, I think that's how you say that one. I'm sorry if I get the names wrong. Again, it's not a Pokemon that I feel that much for. Trevenant, to me, looks like a weird, evil pseudo-Woodo. I'm not a massive fan of it either, to be honest. So, I mean, if you like these Pokemon, then that's fine. But, I mean, for me personally, I'm not really a massive fan. And I know here that you have put different quotes for me to say in the Tom Baker impression. However, I'm going to save that for a different video, if you don't mind. So, I will get round to it one day. I know I'm not just ignoring the question because I can't be bothered or anything like that. But I am going to use that for a different video. What's your favourite episode from each season of Blake 7? Also, were you annoyed at how Callie's exit from the show was done? In terms of favourite episode from each season, I don't really know. All I can tell you is that my favourite episodes from memory that I remember vividly are the finale. It's brilliant. It's really, really well done. And I think my favourite episode of all time from Blake 7 has got to be, I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it's the one where Avon discovers that the love of his life, Anna Grant, is still alive, and she turns out to be not who he thought she was. In terms of how Callie's exit was dealt with on the show, I think it was absolute bullshit. It was so annoying because Callie was one of my favourite characters. She was brilliant and she was the most interesting person on The Liberator, I thought, because she was this psychic alien. There was so much more that they could have done with Callie, and I really wish that she stayed on for series 4 because Sulin was just tits and an arse. Like, she wasn't really a character, she was something for you to look at, whereas Callie was actually interesting. And for her to go out in such an anticlimactic way where she's not even physically there in the episode when her demise is there, it's just, it did annoy me a bit. Yeah. Do you like these sitcoms? Come Fly With Me, not as good as Little Britain, but it's decent. Bad Education, yeah, it's really funny, and Michelle Gomez is brilliant in that. Miranda, I'm not a fan of just some tall woman falling over constantly, so it's never really interested me. Gavin and Stacey, I've never seen. Don't kill me, I know. The Thick of It, brilliant. I really love The Thick of It. Capaldi's brilliant. But I mean, when the main guy leaves, I think after series 2, I don't enjoy the show as much because I really like that first guy's character. I can't remember his name now. But the reason for why he left the show, I completely agree with, and I don't disagree with why they got rid of him. Mrs. Brown's Boys. You see, I used to like Mrs. Brown's Boys. I mean, I related to it quite a bit because obviously I'm from an Irish family. I recognised a lot of the Irish stereotypes. It's fine. It's not brilliant though. The Office. I'm not a fan of The Office. How I Met Your Mother. It's just shit Friends. That's all it is. It's just a crappy version of Friends. I really don't like How I Met Your Mother. Parks and Recreation, as I said before, I haven't seen it. Arrested Development, haven't seen that either. Fresh Meat, I haven't seen that either. So, yeah, there's a few there that I need to watch. Are you a big convention goer? Nope, I am not. I wish I was. I love going to conventions. Like, I went to Comic-Con this year and it was brilliant. I am aiming to go to Heroes and Villains in London next year. All these conventions, they do cost money. As I'm currently not crapping money, I can't afford to go to each and every single one of them like I would like to. What is the best Blake 7 episode? I mentioned it before, the one where Avon gets in touch with his old love interest. Thoughts on What's the Story Morning Glory? Absolutely bloody brilliant album. Classic. Best and worst Doctor Who effect. The best one for me is easily, to this day, it's still got to be that big space station at the start of Trial of a Time Lord. I love it. It's flawless to me. It's brilliant. In terms of the worst one, I don't know, because there have been quite a few where I look at it and I think, oh, Jesus Christ. But I mean, Chameleon is pretty naff. Favourite big finish for each Doctor? In terms of for each Doctor, I really don't know, because I don't listen to each story from each Doctor, so I can't really make a judgment on that. Best Life on Mars episode? I think the best one, I don't know about the best one, but I know that my favourite one is the football one in series 1. That's brilliant. I love that one. Also, Life on Mars or Ashes to Ashes? Controversial, but I'm going to say Ashes to Ashes. I love the Quattro. I love Gene Hunt's development in that series. I love Alex Drake. I think she's amazing. The only thing I don't like about Ashes to Ashes is that it's not in Manchester anymore and that it's in London. That pisses me off. And the funny thing is, a lot of the main locations used for Life on Mars are quite close to me. The police station, for example, that they use is actually a council building in the town centre of Stockport. Fun fact for you there. Most wanted missing episode? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's Evil of the Daleks. Tips for YouTubers who are starting out? Just do it. Just make sure that you're confident in what you're doing. Just make sure that your video looks as good as it possibly can. Just make sure that you're doing it because you want to and not because you're trying to make money out of it. That's really not the way to do things. And just don't be afraid to say things that may be controversial or that people might not agree with. There's quite a few things, but yeah, just be yourself, just be confident and do content that you're happy with. If you had to choose one Doctor Who story to burn, what would it be? Now, I saw the reply to this and the comment is right. I think he might choose Hellbent. Yes, they are absolutely right. I would burn Hellbent. I think it's absolutely fucking dreadful, but it's not the only one that I would burn. There are quite a few that I just think, oh, this is terrible. In the Forest of the Night is easily one of the worst episodes of Series 8. Sleep No More is an abomination. If you could be a Dalek, who would you exterminate first? I mean, in the world? Jesus Christ, I don't know. So what you're basically asking me here is, if I could, who would I murder? Well, I don't really want to admit that on camera. No, I'm not really the murdering type, but Brandon, if you're watching, it's you. There's probably going to be other people watching this video called Brandon and not the one that I'm intending. They know who they are. Who would win in a fight, Leela or Ace? I'm gonna have to go with Leela just because she's a savage and I don't think she'd hold back like Ace would. Do you have a comfort episode of Doctor Who to go to? Not necessarily your favourite one, but one you'd happily watch again and again. I do. It's probably The Hand of Fear, because that is the story that got me into classic Who, that introduced me to my favourite Doctor-companion relationship, and it's the DVD that I've watched the most, so it's probably that one. Have you ever gotten your friends to watch classic Doctor Who, and what would be the best way to introduce someone who's only watched new Doctor Who? No, I've tried, but they're not interested. I'll get them one day though. It's a video series that I'm planning on doing, introducing my friends to classic Doctor Who and seeing if they like it or not. The best way really would be to kidnap them, drug them, gag them, and force them to watch Clockwork Orange style an episode of Doctor Who. That would be the best way. I wouldn't condone that, and I don't think you should do that, but that would probably be the best way. Oh, I hope people don't take me literally. This is gonna get so flagged. Do you play any instruments? No. I used to. How do you do your intros like the Vortex? Well, the link is in the description on my Doctor Who videos or videos where I use that. The actual Vortex thing is from one channel and then the music is from another, and I just put the music on top of that footage. It's as simple as that. Now, I already answered this one on the comments, but the question was United or City, and I've got to say United. However, the day that I'm filming this, yesterday United lost to Bristol City in the Carabao Cup, so it's not a good time to be a United fan really. And then we have the last question, which is, are you looking forward to the Doctor Who Christmas special? The answer, if I'm being 100% honest, is no. I really don't want to see Capaldi leave. There's rumours that Jodie Whittaker's first line is going to be a boob joke, which is just stupid. There's also rumours, and I've heard that they've written the first Doctor as a sexist, and there's very actual little plot in this episode. There's rumours of Clara turning up. So yeah, I'm really not interested in this episode whatsoever, but out of respect for Capaldi, I'm going to be there watching it. And in case anyone was going to ask in the comment section, are you going to do a review of the Christmas special? Yes, of course I am. That will be up on the 27th. So if you're still here, then thank you very, very, very much for watching. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions. You know, I love doing Q&As. They're really fun. They're kind of chilled out. It's sort of me talking to you guys indirectly, I guess, in a more personal way than what I usually do. So I really enjoy doing it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this as well. Hopefully I answered your questions to the best of my ability as well. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to see more, share it around, all that sort of stuff, comment below, like, you know, all the good stuff. You know what to do. And if you do any of those things, then I would love you forever. So until next time guys, you take care of yourselves, goodbye and happy Christmas. Happy Christmas. Ow.